Hey everybody, welcome back to Late Night Review. This video is going to be a review of Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon. Who are these little creatures? If you don't know, this is the video to check out. So Fred the raccoon and Peanut the squirrel were these two pets that this individual named Mark had. He had a TikTok account where Peanut the squirrel was, I guess, the main character, you could say. Peanut the squirrel was a rescue squirrel. This individual, Mark, had rescued him because one day the mother got run down, and so he was left orphaned as a baby. And so he took that squirrel in and raised him, and he had the squirrel for 7 years. The same thing took place with this raccoon, this little baby raccoon. So he took him in and had been raising him as well. Somebody reported that he had this squirrel. This all took place in New York. The authorities went and got a search warrant. A judge signed off on it, and they went ahead and went to Mark's home and raided his home. And what did they do? Well, they tore apart his home, but they took Peanut and Fred. Where did they take them? They took them and euthanized them. Here is a statement from Mark himself. To the group of people who called DEC, there's a special place in hell for you. Today at 10 a.m. Wednesday, October 30th, the New York State DEC showed up to the house and took Peanut. He was taken to the euthanized, which I say, no, he was taken and murdered. I'm in shock, disbelief, and disgusted to the people who did this to Peanut. For the last 7 years, Peanut has been my best friend. He's been the center of my world and many of yours for so long. I don't know how to process this. Emotionally, last year we moved to New York in hopes of starting a nonprofit animal rescue in Peanut's name, which is at peanut-freedom-farm. Will forever live in Peanut's memory. With over 350 rescues, we've relied heavily on Peanut and his internet family to gather donations to help more animals. I don't even know how we'll continue to fundraise for this nonprofit.
Runs a sanctuary in Western New York, housing horses, goats, and other animals.
To take Peanut away from my family is not only, heart-wrenching, but then you take it away from the organization that solely gets its funding from social media that requires Peanut to get that funding.
Somebody complained, as Mark said, DEC took the pets and euthanized them. Their reasoning was to say that he didn't have the proper paperwork to own those pets. However, he was actually in the process of getting this paperwork processed, but you know how slow government is, and he was still waiting for it to be processed. And they knew this, however, they still took the pets and then claimed that an officer was bit by the squirrel and they had fear of rabies, so they euthanized the pets. Why the hell did they kill Fred because of this bite from the squirrel? Let's take a look. Signs of rabies in squirrels. Squirrels rarely carry rabies and have never been known to transmit it to humans or other animals. Oh my gosh, that pisses me off right away. However, if you notice a squirrel that is behaving abnormally, you should contact wildlife control professionals to ensure the safety of you, your pets, and your home. Rabies can also cause a squirrel to be uncharacteristically lethargic or unusually fearless. Other symptoms of rabies in squirrels include total or partial paralysis, strange walking patterns, behaviors that are erratic or unusual. I'd also heard that apparently squirrels will turn in circles. If they have rabies, they keep going in circles.
Pretty sure he does.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even run off, and he's just sitting there or standing there just going in circles. That's definitely out of character for a squirrel. You know how skittish those little things are. They always take off.
He's sick.
That's so sad. So clearly you can see the squirrel obviously did not have rabies as he's jumping crazily there. And he did all sorts of different things, and that is why he had his own little account and why he had many followers. He had trained him and had that little squirrel since it was a baby.
You'd be really inclined to kill them too.
Yeah.
Somebody kill your squirrel.
Yeah, John Wick.
Yeah. The fucking squirrel thing is bananas.
Yeah, the whole squirrel thing is that how can it be that we live in America, supposedly land of the free, and the government can barge into your home with guns, so if you resist, you're going to get shot, um, and then take your pets and execute them.
That's
Um,
crazy.
and if they can do that to your pets, what do you think they can do to you?
Mm-hmm.
I know that's not an exaggeration.
Absolutely.
It sounds
So-
like you're oh, that's so crazy. How can you make that connection? But
No,
why would you kill that cute little squirrel that was obviously a pet and trained from the time it was a baby?
Yes.
If you see the interaction that guy has with that squirrel, it was wonderful. It was really cute.
Yes, absolutely. It was just obviously it was a beloved pet squirrel, and a raccoon too, and doing no harm, and the government comes in, barges into the guy's house, takes his pets and kills them, and I think this should really get people out there mobilized, frankly, because when you see that, like the John Wick movie, where John Wick's like, he just wants peace, like in the John Wick movie, he's like, listen, I want to retire, and they offer him like tons of money, like because they want him to be an assassin, to keep being an assassin. They're like they like offer him tons of money. They threaten him. He's like, listen, I'm not gonna be, I'm out, and they kill his dog. That was a bad idea. That was a
They killed that
really,
cute little puppy, and the puppy was his ex-wife's gift to him when she died of cancer.
yeah,
Great
Yikes.
movie.
great movie.
Best revenge movie of all
Yeah.
time. Because it's so ridiculous. He kills everybody.
Yeah, kills everyone.
And you're rooting for him.
Yeah, they shouldn't have killed his dog.
Yeah, they fucked up, bro.
They shouldn't have killed
Agreed.
that squirrel. I mean, it's like how many cases have we not heard about?
Oh, look at that little guy. And that squirrel clearly had a love relationship with that guy. He would hop all over him and climb on him. I mean, that was his pet. That squirrel thought of that man as his protector,
Mhm.
as his
Most definitely.
companion.
Yes.
There was nothing wrong with that. And
This was a fucking squirrel. It's not.
Right.
It's not an anaconda or a
right.
or crocodile or something that's
Or a
gonna harm.
chimpanzee.
I myself had a pet. We had two dogs, and one of our dogs had died, and the other one was still alive, and she became really depressed when our other dog died. She didn't like going outside and playing or chewing on bones or anything. You could see she was depressed at the loss of her best friend. Months later, she had started feeling better. You could tell her spirits were a little more lifted, and she started doing things that she used to do, like going outside and sitting in the grass and chewing bones or whatever she enjoyed doing. And she also liked going and helping my brother water his fields, as he is a farmer. And one night, when they had come back from watering, he had went inside, and she didn't want to come in, so he said okay. And later on, when he went to check the water, he was calling for her and looking for her. She wasn't coming, and he went across the street to our cousin's house. But the land I grew up on was actually land it's been in the family for hundreds of years. Our cousins were our neighbors, and he actually found our dog dead in their back field. He could see there was a really big fight that took place there. This was years ago, and it still makes me so sad thinking of this. Apparently, some dogs killed her. Did you hear me crying? Oh, I'm sorry. So apparently some dogs had killed her. We had contacted the animal control in our town, and they're saying that there actually are some dogs that are going around killing people's pets and their fowl, like chickens, ducks, stuff like that. And they were killing just to kill. They didn't eat any of the animals. They were just killing them and then leaving them there. And they haven't been able to catch them. My thought upon hearing this is like, oh my gosh, these dogs could kill somebody's small child. They hadn't been able to catch them, though they had been trying. They only killed at night, and no one ever saw them during the daytime. They said, yeah, if you're able to catch them, we'd appreciate that, because we haven't had any luck. So with their permission, we were able to catch one of the dogs. And that particular dog was a wolf crossbreed. It was illegal to have that dog because of its size and being part wolf and bred with a domestic dog, which results in a dog that is very instinctually wild, yet has the ability to not be afraid of humans. That creates a problem. After we were able to catch one of the dogs, my brother was outside talking to somebody at night, and he heard noise in the orchard, and he thought it was just like the chickens, because the chickens would go through the orchard and like tear up the ground and eat whatever they find there. And he shined the light and he didn't see any of the chickens. And so he just went about continuing his conversation, and then he heard the sound closer to him. And so he turned on his light and he shined it, and the light hit the other dog. And when the light hit that dog, it freaked out and took off running. In my opinion, those dogs were possessed. Like, they were obviously out for blood and hunted. They're willing to hunt a human. They're out hunting people's pets and other animals at night. I said, I hate talking about this because it makes me so sad. At least our dog didn't die in vain, because we were not going to just look the other way. And I love dogs. I am such a lover of dogs. The two dogs that had killed our dog. One was that wolf hybrid that I just told you about, and the other one was a pit bull. That is what she was up against. And that wolf dog was so huge. Like, I remember seeing that dog and thinking, like, you took my little Sharky's life. And I, as an adult human, would have had trouble fighting off that dog. And so I just know she fought for her life and did everything she could to try to survive. But unfortunately, she didn't make it. After we were able to catch that one, we don't know what happened to the other one, because that was the last time we saw it, was when it was sneaking up in the dark to attack. But that's where it stopped. There was no more of the killing after that.
It's totally understandable if somebody's got, a creature that is dangerous to others. But,
Right.
like, obviously a squirrel and a raccoon are not.
Well, squirrels are fucking everywhere. That's what's so crazy.
Yeah, like, why not?
The squirrel and the raccoon, there were no reports of them ever biting anybody either. So it's not like the public was in danger by these animals.
I just don't understand how anybody could justify it.
Yeah, and then to add insult to injury, there were a bunch of people on the left who were, like, actually posting that they're glad that MAGA squirrel got killed. Which is fucking...
MAGA squirrel.
Yeah.
Like, the fucking squirrel has an ideology. It's a cute little fluffy squirrel.
Exactly.
So it became this thing, and the left in the United States started saying that was a lie. This never happened. This squirrel, this whole story about this squirrel and this raccoon was just made up to try to gain votes for the election. And clearly it was not made up. Here you have him making a statement, an interview, like, this was real. It was not fake news.
I'm never gonna dress him up again. I'm never gonna eat a waffle with him. I'll never be able to put this on Peanut ever again. They took two innocent animals, and they took Peanut from me. They took Fred from me. Y'all can make fun of me for crying, but knowing that squirrel will never run up and down these shelves again, it absolutely kills me. And I'm sorry for crying. They knew I was going through the paperwork, and they came here anyways. So for those who are saying I don't have the paperwork, you know what, you're right. But we were working in the process of doing it. But you're telling me all of this was necessary to use taxpayers' money?
I don't know who the fuck is telling this man you didn't have the paperwork, like, you deserved it. Like, what the fuck are you on? Like, this is unacceptable to be leaving hateful comments like that.
The agency said in the aftermath they had to euthanize both animals amid rabies concerns, claiming Peanut bit an investigator.
Yes, sure.
Like, what kind of hateful person are you that you would go and report that? Like, your anger blinds you that much?
We're gonna get justice for Peanut, I promise you guys that. You know, Peanut might have passed away, but it started a evolution. And that's what we'll remember Peanut for.
The reason why I say I can totally understand Mark's feeling like even though little Peanut and Fred died, hopefully they didn't die in vain and some stuff gets changed. I totally understand where Mark's coming from. The fact that it was actually humans who took his pet's life, and especially when just like our dog, she wasn't doing anything wrong, and just to come and have your family member taken from you in that way is just absurd. And anyone who says, well, that's what you guys get for not tying your dog up or letting her leave the yard, you can keep your comments to yourself. I love seeing this video here of little Fred eating his pup cup from the coffee shop.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm like, I hope people just go out there and vote for Peanut, man. If nothing else, if nothing else, just vote for Peanut, you know.
With that, talk to you guys later. Bye.